underneath the city lights. There is a world few know about, where rules don't apply, no. And you can't keep a good girl down.
Hey guys, okay, so today I have another Halloween tutorial for you guys. And for this tutorial, I was inspired by the movie Burlesque, and I actually saw a costume that was the costume that she was wearing on the cover here. And I really, thought that the makeup was very, like, Halloween show type makeup, really bold and out there, and I really like the look that she has on the cover here. So I recreated that look, and you don't have to obviously be a dancer from Burlesque for Halloween. This look can work for many different things. It could be a 60s mod look, because defining your crease like this was real popular back then. Or it could be a Marilyn Monroe look. If you don't do the crease part, it would work for that costume. You could be a sexy pinup, or, like I said, a showgirl. It would work for any of those costume looks. But yeah, for the lips, you could either do a red bold look, which is really gonna be more bold and vampy and sexy, or you could do a pink lip like this, which makes it look really like sweet and innocent. It's obviously more wearable if you're kind of afraid of bright bold colors. But yeah, so stick around and I will show you guys how to do this makeup look. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my NYX Jumbo Pencil in Strawberry Milk, and it's just a really light pale pink, and I'm going to apply this all over my eyelid, and I'm going to be using this as kind of like my eye primer or my base. And then I'm going to take my NYX Jumbo Pencil and Cottage Cheese, which is a pretty kind of champagne, creamy off-white color. And I'm going to use this to highlight right under my brow bone. And then I'm just going to take a brush and blend these out. And I'm starting with the white because then when I go down to here, it doesn't really matter if a little bit of the white rubs off, but you don't want any of the pink up here, so start with your brow bone first. And if you don't have brushes, you can use your finger. It's perfectly fine. And then the next step is to apply a pink color and a brown color. So I'm going to be using my Coastal Scents Shimmer Palette, because this look is, you want to use things that have like shimmer to them since you are going to be using glitter. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pink in the palette, and it's going to be this one right here. It's just a pale pink. And I'm going to place it right over top of where I put the strawberry milk color. I am going to take this brown, and then I'm going to be mixing it with this goldish brown up here. And you don't want this to be very noticeable. You just want to give a little bit of depth, so make sure you use a light brown just to add depth. Now for the glitter. Now I used several different glitters. Now I used my Too Faced Shadow Insurance Glitter Glue primer and my NYX Glitter Cream Palette in Ice Queen, and also just a silver loose pigment that I had. It's just a silver glitter. And if you don't have this, you could just pick up the cream palette and just use that, since it does have a cream base. But if you're going to be using a loose pigment, you're going to need something sticky to hold it down. And this is a really great primer for that. So I'm going to be taking my glitter glue, and I'm going to be applying that all over my eyelid. And then you just want it to set for a few minutes, so it a few seconds, so it gets tacky. And then I'm going to be going in with this dark silver from the NYX cream palette, with my cream palette though. And I'm going to take a small brush, since I only want it to be strictly on my eyelid area. That's the other reason why I'm not going to be using my finger, because if you use your finger, sometimes it tends to get up in this area, which you don't want any glitter up there. You want it mainly on the eyelid. So I'm going to start by taking this glitter down here, which is the darkest silver. And I'm going to apply this first. And I'm just going to pat this on. And you want to make sure anytime you're applying glitter that you pat it on, because if you stroke it on, you're going to have a bunch of fallout, more than what you would have if you patted it on. To take the white glitter in the middle, and I'm going to apply that next. And go right over top of the silver that you applied. I go in with my loose pigment to finish it off. Look like that once you're all finished. We are going to create this really cut crease line. So I'm going to be taking my NYX single eyeshadow, and this is just in black. So you want to make sure you use a solid matte black, because it's almost like a liner type effect. So I'm going to take a small little brush and dab it in here. And I am just going to go from the inner corner, and you just want to follow the crease. So where your eye, the indent of your eye is, that's what you want to follow to create this. An angled brush, And this is my Sigma E65. And I'm going to take a little bit of the black, and you want to create this winged effect. So just going to start working it inward, and you want to connect it to the other line. The next step is going to be lining your upper lid, and I recommend using a liquid liner, and I'm using my L'Oreal Paris Carbon Black Linear Intense Eyeliner. This is the best and easiest liquid eyeliner I've personally found, so it's really easy to control, and it has a fine tip. But I'm just going to start with the inner. And you can make the line thicker as you work your way out. And then you're going to want to create a double wing almost. So and I'm not going to go the whole way out to match it up, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back with that black eyeshadow, and I'm going to make it fade out, so they're both fading out as E65 brush again and the black shadow. And then you want to make sure that they line up. My NYX glitter liner in Disco Ball. And you want to place this just right in between the black lines. Now for the bottom lash line, I'm just going to line it in black. So I'm going to be taking my Stila Smudge Proof Waterproof Eyeliner in Stingray, which is just a matte black. Alright, so once you've lined that, then I'm going to take my NYX glitter liner again, and I'm just going to line right underneath the black. Alright, so pretty much the basic of the eye is done. So now for lashes and mascara. Now either you can just have your natural lashes, or I am wearing false lashes, and these are really long wispy ones, but you could also, if you wanted more of a dramatic look, get the shorter, more condensed ones, so it's a total solid black. But I like the long lispy ones, so I decided to wear those. So I am going to apply this and be right back. Alright, so I applied my false eyelashes, and if you need to go over your liquid liner again after applying, that's perfectly fine. I just used clear adhesive to put my lashes on, but I know you can find some eyelashes out there that are like self-adhesive, so if you're not really good or skilled or don't wear false eyelashes, then you might want to try to find some of those to apply for just easier application. But now I'm going to apply mascara, so I'm going to be using my Hypnose Star mascara. And I'm just going to be using this just to blend my natural lashes in with the false. Or you do your bottom lashes as well. And to finish off the look, we're just going to highlight the inner corner. So I'm going to be taking my NYX Jumbo Pencil and Cottage Cheese again. And I'm just going to dab that into the inner corner. And then go back with a brush and just kind of blend it, soften it a little bit. So it looks like that. And then what you're going to want to do is, I didn't apply my concealer. I waited till the end. So I'm going to be using my Sephora concealer pen, and it's the Smoothing and Brightening Concealer. And I'm just going to dab. A little. And I'm going to be taking my Sigma F70 concealer brush, and I'm just going to blend this out. After you're done applying your concealer, you're going to want to set it. So I'm just going to use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Light Plus. I'm just going to pat that underneath the eye just to make sure my concealer stays in place and doesn't crease. Done, but I just want to go over with you guys what I used on my face. So I used my Makeup Forever HD foundation, and I'm in N115. And then for my blush, I used two, just for two different reasons. One, so it lasts all night, and second of all, I wanted a bright but dewy type look. So I used my NYX Cream Blush in Hot Pink, and I just applied a little bit with a stippling brush, and then I went over top of it with an e.l.f. blush in Pink Passion, which is it's way brighter than what it's coming up on camera. It's a really hot Barbie type pink. So I layered those two on my cheeks, and then for a bronzer, I just used my my Hoola Benefit bronzer, and it's just a nice matte bronzer, and I just use that to contour my cheeks. And then for highlight, I used my Laura Geller Glow Box, and I used this one right here to highlight my cheekbone, and I also placed some on my nose, chin, and forehead as well. So those are all the products I used on my face. But now for the lips, you could do multiple type lips. You could do a red look. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. A red lip, and have this look be totally bold and dramatic and vampy, or you could do a pink lip, which is what I'm going to show you guys right now. I'm going to be using my VS Pro lipstick in Irresistible, which is a really nice hot type pink. Any mistakes, you can just take some concealer and just go along the edge. Right? And then to finish the look, I am going to be using a lip gloss, and I'm going to be using my MAC Marilyn Monroe Dazzle Glass in Little Rock, which just is a really pretty clear sparkle glitter gloss. And then this is going to be the finished look. Alright, so there you guys have it. This is the finished look. and I think it's really fun and festive for Halloween, and I think it's a great look if you're going as one of the things I mentioned earlier in the video. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will link blog and Twitter down below in the description box, and I will see you guys in my next video. Alright, bye.